Drug dealers, have you ever called CPS on a client? If so, what's the story? You would be shocked about how many stories I have, but this one takes the cake as the saddest one ever. It's the reason I stopped selling and turned my life around. I must have been 16 or 17 at the time. I was in high school, had a part-time job at Dairy Queen, and on top of all that, I was selling hard substances. At the time of the horrific incident, I had already been selling hard for about 1 or 2 years. Profit was pretty good, I'd say around $300 per day on average, which was great for my age, but I spent money as fast as it came. I was young and I was dumb. As a dealer, I would use some addicts' houses to sell out of. The cops would call these things projects. I'd be supplying the addict a cheaper price for the product so that I could use their house to sell out of. They would also refer a lot of other people to buy from me and help sell for me in return for the product. So the incident was in this addict's house. The guy was roughly 50 years old and lived with his girlfriend. The girlfriend had a little boy, maybe about 3 to 5 years old. At the time I didn't know how to tell how old a kid was. I didn't ask either because I was ashamed of myself for not preventing his mother from using. Still, I felt like he was my little brother in some way and I would cook for him when he was hungry and his mom was always too messed up to do anything. One day, I went to work at the shack. It was a regular day. I get into the house, get my products ready, weigh out the stuff, and bag them up. Knock on the bedroom door of the guy who owns the house. I see him sleeping. His girlfriend is also on the couch sleeping because she is always high and messed up. The kid is just sitting there watching TV. I make him some macaroni and cheese. Now I gotta wake up the guy because I need an update on what products he moved the day before. So I went into his room. I see his eyes are still open. White foam all over him like he's overdosed. It's normal for me to see overdoses, but this was beyond an overdose. He had been overdosed for too long, probably at least 10 hours because I could smell it and he was cold to the touch. His vomit was dried and his eyes were dried. Now I'm in one of the biggest panics I've ever been in. As I'm trying to figure out what to do, I sit down with the kid and stay there until he finishes his mac and cheese, thinking about what I'm going to do next. His mom, sleeping behind me on the couch, is still alive but has no idea what's happened, or maybe she does, I don't know. I left the shack, drove about 2 blocks away, and used the prepaid cell phone to call the police and report the incident. I then sat in my car until the police showed up.